Oh, hello, Internet, and welcome back to the TapStream podcast, episode 18. I can't believe we did it. We had finished everything that was apples and oranges related, and it was a very, very fun read to do with Dear Christopher. We've been struggling about what we wanted to do in a post-apples and oranges world because we were having so much fun reading something that I had wrote years ago, and we thought that this might be the end of our endeavor. But fortunately, Dear Christopher found a book that he had written back when he was 12 or 13, so we're around there. And we took the time to read it in this episode. It's not something that's going to span the course of weeks. We did finish it in one episode, but it was an entirely fun read. So if you've been enjoying the last couple of weeks, you're in for another treat and maybe possibly something more teased at the end. The only way you're going to know is if you tune in and listen. See you on the other side, everybody. Have a good one.
You're recording.
I was trying to get to it, but I caught that first. I didn't catch that first part, but yeah, I'm recording now.
Oh man. Okay, good. Oh god.
So give me the context. When was this book that you wrote?
This was. Oh man. Let me see. Hang on. This was. I mean, 2002 maybe. 2004. June 8th, 2004.
How old would you have been?
Let's see. I was probably summer of 6th grade, going to 7th grade.
Nice.
So, Jesus. I was. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know how far we're getting into this just yet, but I do want to say I'm scrolling just a little bit ahead, and I got to the table of contents, and I love how it's page 1, chapter 1, page 2, chapter 2, page 3, chapter 3, and so on up to chapter 6.
It's so. Trust me. Chelsea's over my shoulder right now. What are you doing? I was gonna say it's. I don't like being on this side of this.
I just did 5 weeks of this. It's your turn.
No, I fully get it. I'm like, so I'm just gonna hide behind childlike wonder.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in your defense, you were a lot younger when you wrote this. I mean,
yeah.
If you have half as many grammatical errors as I did in apples and oranges, I think you still come out okay.
Oh man. Yeah, we'll see. This is gonna be something else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even. Go ahead.
And for clarity, I have not read this. You actually tried to send this to me probably when we were on book 3 of Apples and Oranges, and I told you no. I'm not gonna read this until we are recording.
Well, look, I'm fully aware. I'm fully prepared to blank out a couple names in here and send this or make this public. Like I've already put it on Reddit before, like a long time ago. I posted it to the subreddit Blunder Years, if you're familiar.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So I posted it there. So I'm prepared to share it, but so I was at my mom's like my mom is an office manager for a dental surgeon, like a specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to, like, in the summer, I guess I don't know, maybe I don't know if I wasn't allowed to stay at home. That's probably accurate. I wasn't allowed to stay at home, like, alone, which is fair, like, given given the fact that this book exists.
Who knows what you would do left up to your own imaginations.
So yeah, so she brought me to her work, and I hammered this one out over the course of a day.
Oh wait. So you're telling me this wasn't like a school assignment? You did this for fun?
Oh no, this was during the summer.
Oh my god, this makes it so much better.
I was bored, and I was given access to a computer, so but like I want to say, and I might be romanticizing, but I want to say that my mom told me that I wasn't allowed to go on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Well, the internet's a dangerous place. You're gonna meet some fucking weirdos.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I think that's the case. I think that she was just like, you can't go on the internet, but you can play in Paint or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. There's no telling, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna okay. So I read this again about a year. No, it's been about 3 or 4 years
mm-hmm.
ago. And so I recall that this was around the time that I had discovered the movie Airplane,
Yes.
uh, which I actually like brought up in Apples and Oranges in one of
Nothing
the
is real,
episodes.
man. Nothing is real.
Right? And so this was around the time that I first started watching that movie. And so there, ugh, like it's gonna be so cringy. Like I like my famous, my like internally like infamous joke of if my life had a works cited page, like you're gonna get to see just how far back that goes.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be bad.
So
So go, yeah.
I'm
What do you
looking at the
think?
title page here, and I don't know, like because I looked at it. Have we said what the name of the book is yet?
No, and that's actually funny. I didn't name the book until after I wrote it.
Oh my god.
And I had no, I mean, I did this in a day, so I didn't have like a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I just started writing stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, read the title.
All right, here we go. The square root of a piece of pie. To, I don't know if I can say this name or not, so I'm not going to. To
No.
name from Chris. And the thing that tripped me up is this: the to/from is like you used a stamp for this. So this is official. You wanted it to be as official
like,
as possible.
Yeah, like she had like a fucking printer and
Mhm.
staple, like I stapled this.
Oh, I
like,
can
you
see it in the scans.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Okay, so I'm trying to wait, why did I apologize? Okay, so the name, I won't say the name, but it's to, at the time, my baby cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, now that makes it more adorable.
but I didn't write. No. Okay, so I wrote this book and then printed copies for certain family members.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't I didn't like this copy that I took scans from was dedicated to her. The book wasn't written for her. No, I had much more grandiose.
That makes it even better. It's like, here, this is gonna be worth something someday.
Yeah, no,
you personalized it.
And the worst part is on like page 2 of this scan, I'm pretty sure I autographed it. Like,
well, dude, you autographed it on page 1 because again, I'm gonna continue. Square root of a piece of pie, to person from Chris. There is a wonderful drawing of a pie, in just the happiest face you could ever see, and then underneath it is illustration by. And it's your name in cursive. Then right underneath is your name in print. And then underneath that is written by your name in print.
Oh, I was like,
you wanted people to know.
Wait, let's see. I gotta do the math on this. So that's 4. No, that can't be. God, I hope I wasn't 13. That seems old. That seems like. I guess I was 13. This was 2004, so.
Yeah, if 2004, I would have been 13, 14, somewhere around there. And you're 1 year younger than me.
I thought I was younger. That sucks. That sucks.
Oh man.
So it was in June. So I was 12. Like,
okay, that's fine. I mean, the going into your teens from preteens is a world of difference.
Yeah, like no 13-year-old should be doing this, but 12 is cool. So yeah, so
you can finally start watching PG-13 movies, man. They change your life.
That's why I wrote books back then, because I had nothing to do. All the PG movies were done for.
Mm-hmm.
So I clearly had ambition. Mm-hmm. Like the table of contents I wrote, like I think like a letter to the editor, maybe, mm-hmm. or maybe like a author's note. And the author's note is, Chris Roach wrote this book in less than 4 hours and loves it. One will be coming again soon, which was a lie. Nothing ever came after that.
I do love for everything Apples and Oranges brought with the post-credit scenes that was stemmed from Marvel. You were queuing in on that Marvel stuff before they even did, because like every movie ends with Thanos will return in Avengers Endgame, or Tony Stark will return.
Man, that's a lot of credit.
Yeah, you were ahead of the curve, man.
I don't know that that's accurate, but sure. So. Oh God, I'm on scan 3 now. So I don't know how long it's going to take to read this.
Yeah.
I will say my bucket of cringy writing is very, very shallow. So we can, like, you can interrupt. I know you gave me the reins
Okay.
on apples and oranges, but you can interrupt as much as you want. Like, we can, like, I was 12, so we're not gonna hurt my feelings. Like, let's tear this one up.
And if we've learned anything from apples and oranges, we're great at bullying.
Oh man. And we even get like this, like, there's dialogue in this, so we even get to do voices and stuff.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, but there's not a lot, so.
Well, I already want to go ahead and interject here and say that, one, you're a fucking liar, because I'm on page 4. The table of contents clearly says that page 4 is chapter 4. But not only that, but chapter 1 cuts into a little bit of chapter 2. So your table of contents is a throne of lies.
God. Oh God. I keep catching, like, you know when you're like, okay, you know when you're like in public and you walk, like if you're in a crowded area and you just pick up like pieces of people's conversations.
Yeah.
And you just think like that's a funny conversation to be having. I'm doing the same thing right now while scrolling, but instead of thinking that's funny, I'm thinking, why did I ever include that? Like, I keep catching little glimpses of like words and stuff, and I'm like, oh God, like this is gonna be really bad. Like I don't. It's like,
take it from me.
Like,
from having just done this, the easiest way to do this is just rip that Band-Aid off.
Yeah, I understand. This is like, you know, like the it's not even a meme. It's like the whole like RAR XD thing.
Holds up spork.
Yes. So that whole like copy pasta is like this book or this whatever this is like right in that sweet spot of when I was in my like RAR XD phase. And I think that's really good context moving forward.
Man, I think if it would have just waited a couple more years, this probably would end up as one of your MySpace bulletins.
Oh God, it definitely would have at least made it to Zanga, because Zanga was only like a few. Like, I had to have gotten to Zanga like a few months after this.
You were like, man, look what I can do in 10 pages. Imagine if I had the infinite internet.
Because like my Zanga, I remember.
Let me know if I'm going too far. I'm starting to understand your plight in apples and oranges.
No. You keep going. I'm just gonna keep being self-deprecating. But like, this has nothing to do with anything. But my Zanga, oh God, what was my first Zanga? Like, I'm not even a fan of Green Day.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really liked Green Day, but my Zanga profile name was Boulevard of Basket Cases. Oh my God, Boulevard of Basket Cases. It sucks to say out loud.
Well, a lot of people don't know this. To sign up for a Zanga profile, you actually had to pass
Green Day?
Yeah, you had to pass the loyalty test of Green Day.
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
You had to pass the loyalty test of Green Day.
Wait, was that your joke?
Yeah, that was my joke. Fuck you. Let's read your book.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to deflate it. I was trying to interject.
Listen, man, they can't all be winners. Come on. We're gonna edit around that fucking one.
Okay. Before we proceed, I want to know, like, what's the best way to do? Like, do you want to alternate? Because there's not like a ton of dialogue, but there's dialogue. So do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it and just? How about,
look? It looks like there's 6 chapters. Why don't we alternate chapters?
3 and 3.
Yeah, because the chapters don't look too.
Open.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This whole thing is like a 6-page scan, and I'm pretty sure it's like 14-point font, so it's gonna go quick.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I'll introduce chapter 1, and then you can take 2, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Cool. I'm all ears. I'm ready. I'm excited.
I'm sure you are. Okay. God. All right. Chapter 1: The square root of a piece of pie.
Last time. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
We'll open up with a panoramic shot. Okay. All right. Chapter 1. The square root of a piece of pie was the greatest problem in the world, and I was chosen to solve it.
Carry on.
It was
hold on. I am going to interject. Just based off the cover art of this smiling piece of pie, I, in a million years, never would have guessed that this was going to open up as a noir movie.
funny. Oh God. Uh, yeah, that's what's happening.
Let's go for it.
All right, keep in mind the like holds up spork thing,
Mm-hmm.
because that's definitely what's about to happen. The square root of a piece of pie was the greatest problem in the world, and I was chosen to solve it. It was a dark summer night, and the howling dogs were telling me that I was too fat to eat any more snacky cakes. Well, I thought, maybe if they wouldn't be so condescending, I would look decent enough for them. But, oh God. Ugh. But back to the story.
Were you
I
all
was
right, man? Was anything going on that summer?
I don't know. So here's some context. This was written right around the time that I met Bobby. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like I think we were fresh friends.
For context, Bobby, describe him, please. Just for for people that don't know.
How do you describe a guy like that?
I know I'm going to get the story wrong, but when I think of Bobby, my favorite story is that you said you were hanging out at his place and Bobby like situated himself in a corner and pretended to be a houseplant until his dad got annoyed. And when he said something okay, then carry on. Pick up where I'm going because I don't know the full story.
Okay, so he had a couch that, oh God, that's so funny.
This is Bobby.
He had a couch, like a sectional, but they didn't have this, like the corner section. So it would just like meet and make like a square in the corner of the living room. And goddamn, Bobby would stand in the corner as straight and vertical as he possibly could, like lock his knees and like make a straight face and like stand as vertically as he could. And then his stepdad would be watching TV. His name was Bill. His stepdad would be watching TV. Two whirlwind friends on a big city adventure.
Two friends, one family.
It's just called it's called Two Brothers. Anyway, so Bobby would be in the corner and he would be standing vertical, like as straight as like a plank. And Bill obviously knew he was there, but Bobby would pretend like Bill couldn't see him. So he would, and Bobby's like 13, you know, he's probably a year or two older than me. And so he would stand in the corner, pretend that Bill couldn't see him, standing as like straining to stay stiff. And then he would just kind of fall onto the couch, and just kind of like bounce, I guess, like you would off like a trampoline or something. And he would just, I don't know why. Think about what's the point of that? What's your end game? What do you gain there? But Bill would lose his fucking mind. He would freak out because it would piss him off so bad. He'd be like, "Bobby, God damn it!" Like he would just, I don't know. I guess like him standing there and pretending to not see Bill would like test his patience. And then when he'd fall, and he wouldn't just like fall. He would like fall like a skyscraper would fall, or like maybe a I don't know, a stack of Legos or something would just fall really slowly, and he would just fall onto the couch and then bounce off onto the floor and make a ton of noise, and it would piss Bill off because he'd be trying to watch TV. It's the weirdest thing. Like Bobby is a strangely, he finds things that shouldn't be funny insanely funny. He used to run from one end of his hallway down to the other, and about midway through he'd just trip and fall and make as much noise as he could, just to piss Bill off. Like it was so weird, but it was so funny. So, and that's not like the only comedy return he had. Like he's done, you know, stand-up comedy and stuff. He's a very funny and well-written guy in terms of jokes and comedy. So and all that to be said, I didn't show him this. Like I don't think that I'd ever showed anybody this actually.
This is the world premiere.
You know, in a way, yeah. Why would I ever bring this to anybody? So yeah. So
Tell you, man, your English teachers probably would have got a kick out of it.
Oh, I think you just like stirred a very painful memory. I think I might have given this to somebody.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
No. I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, who would do that?
I would have. No, I don't think I did that because I don't think I would have liked any of my teachers enough to want to share this with them. Oh God. Okay.
All right, let's continue. Oh no, I'm sorry. We didn't even get to the point of bringing up Bobby.
The point I was getting at was I'm pretty sure that I was just trying to like make him like I wanted to like be funny, and he was so funny. So I don't know. Maybe I like that might explain why I'm hamming it up so much. Okay. Anyway.
But back to the story.
Okay. It was a dark summer night, and the howling dogs were telling me that I was too fat to eat any more snacky cakes. Well, I thought, maybe if they wouldn't be so condescending, I would look decent enough for them. But back to the story. I was chosen to solve the problem, and I had no leads. I was forced to run a series of tests on a single piece of blueberry pie. Here's the dialogue. Jesus. Okay.
Here's the dialogue.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard because I didn't write like you did for apples and oranges. So, um, it's back and forth.
Okay.
So,
if it's alternating, I'll take alternating.
You
lines.
take the first.
Okay.
Yeah, you take the first. Okay. Just to backtrack, I was forced to run a series of tests on a single piece of blueberry pie. Here is the dialogue.
What do you know about the square root of a piece of pie?
I know nothing, for I am just a small piece of blueberry pie.
You're lying. The lie detector test proves you're wrong. I will ask you again. What do you know about the square root of a piece of pie?
Well, one day I was in a dark alley, and I was just sitting there, and a crude piece of blackberry pie came up to me and threatened me if I didn't tell him what he wanted to know. Of course, I didn't know what he was talking about, for I had no information prior to him telling me of what he wanted to know.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I, of course, am an average blueberry pie slice, and I wasn't the sharpest piece of pie, so I knew very little of math and algebraic equations. So I told him I had no news of this, and whatever he wanted, I didn't have. So he flaked the bottom corner of my crust off and left. He was so cruel, I couldn't bear it.
All right, son. That's enough.
Oh, God.
Wow. So I love how Batman and the maid that tries to hit on Jerry and Rick and Morty are interacting in this first chapter.
We've really taken this and given it legs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I knew that little piece of pie knew nothing. The lie detector test told everything to be true, and I couldn't blame or point fingers. I had no resorts, but I couldn't panic. So what to do? I knew at once. After just one snacky cake, I went to find the blackberry pie. The blueberry pie, George. God. The blueberry pie, George, told me I could find him at the big black hole. As I thought to myself as to where it was, I asked him what this big black hole was. Here's you.
What is the big black hole?
Well, it's a vast, dark hole, but that's not important right now. It's on the corner of John and Denver on the 53rd yard line.
Oh, man.
So is this bar located on the football field?
I guess I don't even know what I was doing there. I'm not even a fan of football. I don't even know what I was doing.
It feels like you picked the most typical football name, John, and you took Denver because I'm assuming Denver Broncos and in the 53rd yard line.
John Denver's a country artist. Like I don't even know what I was doing. Yeah, I don't even know what I was doing. Like I don't get it. But I think you're right. I think it's just like a trifecta. And okay, let me read this and then let's finish this dialogue because I got a lot to circle back on.
Okay.
Well, it's a vast dark hole, but that's not important right now. It's on the corner of John and Denver on the 53rd yard line.
Surely you don't think I could find this place?
Of course I'm sure. And stop calling me Shirley.
Oh, no!
Okay, so I blatantly ripped off an Airplane line just now because surely you don't like that's a line from Airplane.
Yeah, and I mentioned when you brought it up that I have never seen Airplane, but even I know that line.
Yeah, well, so there's another joke from that movie where I'm trying to like not this movie's from like the 70s. I'm not really worried about oh God, I'm reading ahead and I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't be worried about spoilers, but there's this one joke where someone says we need to get them to the hospital, and this other person says, the hospital, what is it? And he says, well, it's a big place where they treat sick people, but that's not important right now. So I guess that I was trying to go for like laughs at that point, but now that I'm reading it out loud, I just want to die. Like I just blatantly ripped off Airplane twice.
Hey, listen, it happens to the best of us.
And I'm reading, oh Jesus Christ, I'm reading the next part, and I had. There's a movie called Bringing Down the House, and it was Steve Martin and Queen Latifah and Eugene Levy and a couple other actors and actresses, but that's the main cast. I don't know if you remember this movie.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
So the trailer was really popular, and it was like, it's Steve Martin, and he's opening the door with some champagne in his hands, and he says, "I hope you like sham," and then the camera pans to Queen Latifah, and it's clearly not who he was expecting, and so he, instead of saying, "I hope you like champagne," he says, "I hope you like shampoo," and it's like, I don't know. I was thinking maybe that would trigger the trailer in your mind, but I guess it didn't. It was like, it was definitely probably like 2002, 2003, and it was like Steve Martin had it all. Like, it was like that kind of thing.
Steve Martin can make it through high school.
And like, his world is turned upside down when he dates inmate zoinks. It was like that kind of movie. Like, that's literally what happens. Like, he meets an inmate on the internet, and then like
Cue Who Let the Dogs Out as the trailer soundtrack.
Yeah, like, seriously. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for this next part, because I don't know what it's gonna be, but it might be something. And oh god, okay. All right, I'm picking it back up. So, after I had a drink of water and a sliver of a ding dong, I found this blackberry pie. He was very gruff, and he hadn't shaved in weeks. Keep in mind, the blackberry pie hadn't shaved in weeks.
I'm gonna assume that the pie, the shaving would be whipped cream.
I don't know. No, because I go on to explain it. Okay. He was very gruff and hadn't shaved in weeks. He looked like an onion that had started to sprout little brown hairs, but I had to confront him.
I need you to tell me a little something about the square root of a piece of pie, yo.
What do you know about that, huh?
I know that there's a sizable amount of money riding on this case, and I could possibly split 50-50 with you. Dig?
How much are we talking here?
Oh, in the sum of 400 billion. Sounds good?
Well, what do I have to do with it?
Well, you know something that can lead me to the moolah. You threatened a colleague of mine about a week ago. He was about, let's say, 5 inches long. He was a blueberry pie slice, and a very delectable slice he was. Did this protagonist taste him? What?
I really don't know. Oh, full of plot holes.
He told me you assaulted him and told him like, hold on, hold on, I gotta read this normal. I don't know if I can do this. He told me you assaulted him and told him lick a doo da cha cha like a sissy girl.
Oh God. Oh, so apparently I was watching Bruce Almighty too. Steve Carell says that whenever Bruce Almighty, or whenever the main character of Bruce Almighty like takes over Steve Carell and makes him say stuff, he makes him say, "I like a do da cha cha," and so I guess it was inspiring. I don't know. I guess it gave me life.
He like a do cha cha like a sissy girl. Oh my god. Let me continue. He said you forced him to give him what you wanted to know. I think you linked to this square root problem.
Yes, I know a friend of a friend who talks about this time continuum and about how he.
Wait, when did time get thrown into this? When did this happen?
Oh, just now. Oh man, okay. I have this fear that you are assuming that I write as well as you do in terms of developing a story.
No, don't put me on that pedestal.
That's not the case. Now is the time continuum. I'm continuing. Yes, I know of a friend that talks about this time continuum and about how he is going to one day devise a plan to further complicate this square root problem. I think he's a madman, but he has half of the plan already on the paper pad with a pen. That's not erasable, you know. God damn it. This the friend is
when you write in pen, you know it's serious business.
What a bad joke. Like, what a bad that's not funny. Like it makes me want to die. All right. The friend is Bob Zagricany. He is linked to Dr. Health Onion. He is the psycho you want. You'll find Bob at 4545 Boot Scoot Drive. Go now, Mr. Detective who is solving the square root of a piece of pie. Fly, fly. That's a line from Austin Powers.
Nice.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you take the reins. Read chapter 2.
Okay. All right. What? By the way, what a great cliffhanger.
Yeah. Thanks.
Chapter 2. So, after some persuasion, I got the Blackberry Pie to come with me on a journey of self-discovery. And, of course,
he tries to send him like the guy, like he tells him the address, and it's not assumed that the piece of pie comes with him, but I just decided to change it, I guess. Cover that plot hole. Keep going.
I love that you have constructed this world of pie as though it is like some Pixar Cars universe where everybody.
I know, with literally no setup.
Yeah.
Like, there was never any establishing like literature that says pie can talk and it's fine.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's almost like, you know how everybody assumes that Humpty Dumpty was an egg, but literally nowhere in the poem do they say Humpty Dumpty is an egg.
Oh my God, I think you just broke me. I've never thought about that.
Oh man. All right, let me go.
I hate that. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait till you find out where the little piggy wasn't actually going shopping.
Yeah, I just got that the other day.
Same. I got the Blackberry Pie to come with me on my journey of self-discovery. And, of course, the square root thing. We ventured to Bob Zagricany's, what is it? Zagricany's condo. He was very surprised to see us. After we had confronted him with our own language, he told us this was a very surprising thing. Considering I came to his house with no prior news and had with me a 5-inch talking piece of Blackberry Pie. Okay, so question. I assumed everybody was a piece of pie. Is our protagonist just a human being?
Yeah, he's just a normal human. There's an illustration of him on the back page.
Okay, cool. So it's a man and a piece of...
If you want to pause and scroll...
No. I'll let that develop. I want to see that at the end after everything. Oh, man. Oh, considering I came to his house with no prior news and had with me a 5-inch talking piece of Blackberry Pie, it was truly a scary sight, but I have seen far worse. For instance, a French woman with a mustache, armpit hair, the works.
Oh, God.
Nice.
It's 2004.
Yeah.
I was 12.
I got my editing work cut out for me. But as I asked him about the predicament I was chosen to fondle with, a slight feeling of insecurity rushed over me. I knew it wasn't cramps, for I didn't have enough snacky cakes today. Usually it takes 6 to 10 of them to cramp me up. The feeling, what a wide range.
Oh, man.
The feeling was fear, for I didn't know how this Bob man worked, and if he was a big spender, he would surely have many guns and other lethal weapons. But I couldn't stop now. As I rushed to the Blackberry Pie's ride, Scruff, I later named him, I whispered to him to take the left and I would go outside. As I rushed to the Blackberry Pie's side, Scruff, so this main protagonist named him Scruff. He didn't have the courtesy to ask him what his name was?
No, he just decided. I mean, okay, so I'm assuming that Pie can talk, but it's not normal because it confused this Bob guy. So I guess I was just like, you're a piece of pie. You don't need to have a name, or you don't probably have a name, so I'm just going to name you. And
right.
So I named him, or I didn't. I guess me. I don't know. The protagonist named him Scruff.
I like it. I dig it. Let's see. I later named him. I whispered him to take a left and I would go outside. But as I foolproofed to plan over,
Shut up.
No,
I thought you were messing with me. As I foolproofed the plan over.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen. We read Apples and Oranges as is. I'm trying to read this as is and make sense of it on the fly.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay. As I foolproofed the plan over, I saw I wouldn't be helping Scruffy, which wasn't good for him. So I would now go to the right side of the man. Once he would be surrounded, we would tie him up and give him a lie detector test. Dude, you wrote Infinity War before it happened.
Oh my God.
I said go left.
That's really fucking funny for one. But I just want to, because that whole chunk was just crazy confusing. So to summarize, the main character and this piece of pie show up to this man's house, and the man is super confused about the fact that this guy who he doesn't know and this talking piece of food is like trying to ask him questions. And then I guess like the main character gets, I'm trying to read, so I guess because like he came out of nowhere and like he wasn't expecting him, the main character was like, I don't know if this Bob dude is gonna be like I don't know, like try to fight us. So that's what this whole little fight sequence was that you just read. There's little like it makes no sense, and none of it flows at all. That's all I'm getting at. I keep going, I guess.
As we jumped to each side, Scruffy yelled,
Get him!
He promptly pounced on him, and I tied him up and connected the testing box to him. Oh my god, I love that the main character is carrying around his lie detector test with him.
I don't know why lie detector tests are so foolproof. Like I don't know why
they're not.
Yeah, I know. Like in my mind, I was just like lie detector test. Like nailed it. Let's do it.
Well, I mean, I until a couple of years ago believed you could feed ducks bread. So, you know, we all
you
no,
can't?
it fucks them up. You're not supposed to feed ducks bread.
I fucked up a lot of ducks in my life.
Yeah, dude, I fucked up a lot of ducks too. Yeah, apparently, also milk is bad for cats. Cartoons fucked us over.
I was just about to say that. I never thought I would say the sentence, I have fucked up a lot of ducks in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's a good thing this is the internet. Nothing's permanent, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, I've been a fan of a subreddit called Brand New Sentence lately.
Yeah.
I think that might be a new one.
Oh,
man. Okay.
I'm going to start over. He promptly pounced on him, and I tied him up and connected the testing box to him. We asked him all the questions we need to ask. Where's Dr. Health Onion? I need to find him and stop him from further complicating the problem I was chosen to fondle with. What is his fascination with fondling with problems?
I don't know. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't stop. I think it's just going to get worse.
You know, are you a fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes.
You know how Boyle always sexualizes his statements without intending it to?
Yes.
This is Boyle.
I don't like picturing that. Okay.
Come on, Jake. We gotta go find Dr. Health Onion.
No. I gotta think of a name for who are we? Bob Zigrikany?
Yeah.
Okay. Read your line again.
Fuck you.
Where is Dr. Health Onion?
Where is Dr. Health Onion? I need to find him and stop him from further complicating the problem I was chosen to fondle with.
I will never tell you.
Tell me, or I will burn your jelly beans.
Never.
I will burn your jelly. So, Dr. Health Onion has jelly beans? Yeah, well, I mean, listen, if I guess I could see you would say that to a human being. I'm gonna burn, like, as a euphemism. I mean, why does that stop at an onion?
Oh, you mean what do you mean, like euphemism for what?
That's supposed to be testicles, right?
No, I was literally gonna burn jelly beans.
Oh, so this onion does have jelly beans? My original reading was right?
Yeah, no. We're at Bob Zigrikany's house, and apparently he doesn't want to have his...
Oh, that's my fault. Okay.
We're trying to find Dr. Health Onion, whoever that is, and I just threatened to burn this man's candy. But it's actually very funny in hindsight that you would think I was going to burn his testicles.
Well, listen, man, you're fondling shit over here. I don't know what you're doing.
Hey, this book is what you make it. So
it's like a trip to Candy Craze.
Oh God, this is bad.
All right, I'll read my line again. Tell me, I will burn your jelly beans.
Never.
I quickly grew tired of this and threatened to raid his kitchen. He would not tell, so I was forced to take all of the snacky cakes in his house and have me a smorgasbord. He could not bear the sight of his precious loved ones being eaten, for he loves snacky cakes as much as I do. After I was done eating all the precious desserts, he told me where Dr. Health Onion was, but it would not help me solve the case. It would only make it easier. Another feeling of insecurity came over, but this time I knew it was cramps. I'd eaten too many snacky cakes, and therefore I'd voided my Atkins diet. Because of the howling dogs, I was forced to diet. Long story. This was the end. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So apparently it was around the time that the Atkins diet was the thing.
I just love that how self-conscious this crime scene investigator guy is.
I don't. Oh man, I don't even know. I get that there is like direct ref. Like it's really weird that this is like a time capsule. I'm basically just like punching back into like where I was as a kid, but I would love to know like what truly inspired this, because like clearly I was just ripping jokes off from movies, so I would love to know like what made me go for this whole like detective thing. I don't know.
2004.
I mean, that's around the time that Austin Powers was out, so maybe it was like a Man of Mystery thing.
I guess I've never seen Austin Powers. I can't think of any other detective based movies around 2004 that would have been popular enough at your age range.
Well, age range is not like I was, to be honest, I watched movies I shouldn't have watched when I was a kid. Like it's very clear. Like I was watching, like I was absorbing things at an alarming rate. Okay. All right, chapter 3. So the very first line of chapter 3 is, "Had you fooled, huh?" And that was because at the end of chapter 2, I had cramps and had eaten too many snacky cakes, and this was the end. So I apparently thought that was really funny.
What makes the joke even funnier is that chapter 2 doesn't end on a singular page. It carries over.
Yeah, there's no page break. Like there's, like you're literally guessing for like an inch of space.
Yeah, like not even a millisecond.
This is bad.
I love it.
All right, chapter 3. Had you fooled, huh? Well, the end truly is over for my diet. God. But back to the story. I was now in a sizable predicament. I had cramps, and I was forced to solve a big problem. I asked Bob where Dr. Health Onion was, for I had been chosen to fondle with the problem. God. Comedy comes in threes, I guess. He told me Dr. Health Onion was located on a secluded island off of Wakahuichu?
Wakahuichu?
I think I just typed enough words to make it sound like Hawaiian, I guess. He told me Dr. Health Onion was located on a secluded island off of Wakahuichu. I only say Hawaiian because I
scrolled ahead.
Yeah. Wait, well, now I might just be bad at geography. Where's Waikiki at? I'm pretty sure I'm just bad at geography.
Well, I'm not a big enough world traveler to know if these are real.
No. Yeah. Waikiki is a beach in Hawaii. Okay, so I was just trying to make shit sound Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so upon asking where he was, I now had to find out how to get there. I was truly bored with the fact that I now had cramps, had to fondle with this problem, and had to fondle with this problem, and had to find this psycho doctor on a secluded island in which I had no way of getting to. I needed a bath. I would truly burn Bob's jelly beans if he did not tell me how to get onto this island. This is Bob, I guess.
Have we done Bob?
I'm Bob because you're about to read the last line.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I did do Bob. Okay.
You will have to take 2 boats and a train to get to him. Go to Waikiki and take the train from there to Hikabalulu, and from there take the train to Wakahuichu. Waikiki is located in Hawaii, just off of Makajarina.
That's what I love to dip my cheap six in.
Makajarina.
Oh, man.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, and God bless. May you never have cramps. God, this guy is fixated on his cramps.
On the flight to Hawaii, we watched movies. The bad ones. As we were in midair, I saw that everyone had become sick from the food they were serving. All right, here's the plot of Airplane happening in real time. As we were in midair, I saw that everyone had become sick from the food they were serving. They were serving hamburgers and hot dogs.
No. I just want to point out hamburgers has a space, hamburgers. Ham space burgers.
Oh, fair point.
It's okay. I got to get a few in.
Oh, yeah, don't hold back. Okay. They were serving hamburgers and hot dogs. I had lasagna. We watched 2 Julia Roberts movies. After watching Pretty Woman twice, my cramps disappeared in the lavatory. Scruffy had bought a CD player for us, in which it broke, and we were forced to watch Runaway Bride. I found it was better to watch her run away from her own wedding through the wrapper of the peanut bag they gave me on the flight for a snack. The small child in front of me started a game of peekaboo, in which 3 hours from the first game I was putting on scary faces and trying to give the kid a heart attack.
A true man of the law.
Jesus. What made me laugh was the thought of somebody like augmenting a movie by staring at it through a chip bag, and it got me. Like, that's actually kind of funny to think about. like a person staring through cellophane to watch something. That actually kind of, like, I don't know, it got me a little bit.
I'm just glad at a very young age you'd already known the true medicinal power of Pretty Woman.
I think I was onto something. I don't know if I knew yet. On the second flight, I slept through mostly until the end, when I awoke to a new George Clooney movie just starting. I noticed that if you squint your eyes at him, you can see a very funny clown that is waving at you with a dog's chew toy. This sucks.
Yeah, I'm letting you sit on that one.
I was like, I told you, I wasn't kidding. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this is funny, this is my raw XD moment. Like, this was literally, like, that's what's happening right now. That's what we're living it.
This is great.
But I once again found that this movie was also bettered through the empty wrapper of my peanut bag.
Somebody get this man a damn bag of peanuts.
When we came to the last 10 minutes of the flight, George was just about to take a cup and eat it when the television shut off. A cup.
A whole cup? A cup of what?
A cup, I guess. I don't know. We all experienced bad turbulence and had a very fun time bouncing about the cab. For some reason, a gravity switch was turned off, and we started floating from each wall.
That's the worst part of flying.
The worst part of prison is the Dementors. When we landed and the switch was turned back on, I was experiencing severe back pains. I believe I fell, but I am not totally sure.
I feel like that's something you would be sure of.
I don't know what I'm trying to, like, make this character into.
Mm-hmm.
On the train ride, I was very bored while talking to Scruffy, for I was not making eye contact. I could have sworn he was playing basketball with a defenseless baby seal. What does that even mean? I could have sworn he was playing basketball with a defenseless baby seal, but I was hallucinating. When the train halted, all the hairbrush stumbled into the hall, and John Wayne walked out. I was now seeing Western scenes. The train doors opened, and we were allowed to get our luggage. I was now closer than ever to solving the problem I was chosen to fondle with. What in the fuck?
Oh my god.
Like, okay, so I thought I have this saved in I have this saved somewhere. I'll scan it and I'll send it to Trey, since we don't have apples and oranges anymore. We'll just read this. It'll be funny and it'll be charming because I was only like 10 when I did it. And then I found out that I was 12, and now I'm realizing that it's not fucking charming at all. Like, it's weird. Like, this is just weird. And it's not the good kind of weird that you laugh at. This is just the weird that you think, I don't want to be by this anymore. like this is the kind of
yeah,
weird
I called that book 4 in apples and oranges. Oh man. No, the thing, you know, on Twitter, hell, everybody's going around doing this, like, hey, type this sentence and then let autocorrect finish it. That's what this is.
Yeah, that's fair. I like to imagine that it's canon that this is Noodle, or like a descendant of Noodle.
This is what Noodle was doing every time Jim was like, go fucking find your own entertainment.
Like, yeah, Noodle, your interpretation of Noodle is the funny version of what I was trying to do. Like you did it well. Like Noodle was
I don't
just
know.
random enough
No.
with good character development.
Noodle,
I'm not okay. I
Noodle's
don't want to
the-
get into the middle of apples and oranges right now because we're in the middle of this book. But I will say that I'm still not over Noodle dying. I'm still pissed off about
I
it.
was going to say, Noodle's whole character is leveraged the fact that he is walking towards his death the entire time. You just don't know it.
That's really sad.
I know. Fuck you. I was 17 and angsty.
Yeah, girls have boobies.
We edited around that.
No, we didn't.
No, I know. Believe me.
That was real.
Believe me.
You made me say that and put it on the internet.
Dude, I made you say things that will never see the light of day. The episode 4 was heavily edited.
Yeah, you were really upset about something, and I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I think I don't know if it made the cut or not, but I think I had said something to the extent of the only way that the pieces that we have read will ever be heard is if we reach some bizarre milestone of raising money for charity. And you said, yeah, we cosmically just owe that to everyone. Yeah.
I really think that was our magnum opus. Like it was yours, and then it was ours when we read it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even like that is an underlined point while reading this book.
All right, chapter 4.
That's yours.
When you arrived at Owakahuichiu, I don't know how to pronounce that, and I think I butchered it.
That's better than I said it.
I called Bob via the latest spy technology. He actually found that in the Sky Mall magazine. I called Bob via the latest spy technology. Tooth phone. So in 2004 was like Bluetooth just like kind of reaching your vocabulary?
No, I don't know that Bluetooth was even in my radar. I think tooth phone was from something.
I'm
Googling it now.
I don't think I'm too far away from Spy Kids.
What did I get tooth phone from? Phone tooth, best inventions of 2002. That's literally what I'm reading right now.
I mean, there's also Timmy the Tooth.
No, well, yeah, but no.
Did Timmy the Tooth have a phone tooth?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a phone tooth. No, I guess I just read about a phone tooth. I don't know.
I really want to believe that Timmy the Tooth had a phone tooth.
Well, but Timmy the Tooth was a tooth.
Yeah, so
he
you'd
would've just
imagine
had
he'd have
phone.
a phone tooth.
A phone tooth. Did Timmy the Tooth have teeth?
Oh my god. It doesn't look like he has teeth, but he does have a tongue.
Well, that's just bad writing.
Join the club.
I can say it now. I'm in the club. Timmy the Tooth didn't have teeth. And
No.
That's a real bummer. That
Well-
really bums me out.
That would be if like our fingers were little humans though.
I'd be fine with that too. I don't think I would be. I think I answered without thinking what that would mean,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a terrifying thought. I just think that it's a missed opportunity. That's like a recursive missed opportunity to not give Timmy the Tooth teeth. You know what's really funny is they called Timmy the Tooth The Adventures of Timmy the Tooth. So I clearly got The Adventures of Timmy from the Timmy the Tooth.
Which is even better. Oh my god.
Life, yeah, nothing is real. I'm starting to believe you.
Okay. If you start to believe me, that only makes it worse for me. Okay. Let me see. Where was I?
Tooth phone.
Tooth phone. I asked him where I could find him now that I was on the island, and he told me that since I could not raid his snacky cakes or burn his jelly beans, I was on my own. This bubbled my bikini. I wanted to ask people where the most secluded area of the island was, but I was not able to speak the language. But being a great detective / spy, I used my pocket voice translator. I quickly asked one of the locals where I could find this place. He told me that I could find it at the highest room of the biggest of all hotels on the highest hill. I looked up and saw the biggest hotel I'd ever seen. I knew I had to climb it, but I didn't have any shoes on. Where are your shoes? I didn't have any shoes on. This is a bizarre story, and I will tell you it. During the flight with the small child, I took off my shoes and made a face out of my shoes with scissors, glue, and masking tape.
Okay, I'm not even gonna just. Okay. Now I have to say it. I guess I was also like heavily inspired by Shrek. Because the onion with little. Sorry, I have like a little footstool that just fell. The onion with brown hairs thing was clearly from Shrek, and the highest room. What was the line? I'm trying to find it. The highest room of the biggest of all hotels on the highest hill. That one's at best very inspired by the princess is locked in the highest room of the tallest tower.
Oh my god! I don't know why. To me, I was trying to connect it to Lord of the Rings whenever they were saying you will find him at the prancing pony or something like that. Like just trying to get descriptive as possible.
Oh
man!
And then I made a face out of my shoes.
Oh man! All right, here we go. But I quickly saw a conveniently located mountain gear store at the bottom of the hill. Although I found it a little pricey, but I could not argue. I paid the man $450 for the size 10 hiking boots. I wear a size 8. I clearly could not walk right, for I wanted to have a presentable shoe size. I asked the man if he had any smaller sizes, in which he didn't, so I stumbled my way out of the store and up the hill. Boy, did I feel stupid. But I found the funny and made peace with my inner negotiator.
What?
Boy, did I feel stupid. Period. Capital B, but I found the funny and made peace with my inner negotiator. Like, I think you just split an atom, like trying to go two different directions with that sentence.
I think I'm just saying, like, I found the funny of the situation and made peace with it. But instead of saying with it, I said with my inner negotiator.
Right, yeah.
Maybe I was just trying to sound fucking smart. I don't know what I was doing there. I think this episode's just going to turn out to be sad.
No, I mean, it's funny. It's funny. He was very he was very understanding.
That's a very apologetic. It's funny.
No, it's funny. Shut up.
You're only doing worse.
I'm just going to keep reading. He was very understanding, although I had to bribe him with flaming hot chips. I knew he would like the long hike, so I let him in my backpack. Next to Scruffy. He was very friendly and made friends with Scruffy quickly. So, in my mind, I had imagined that Scruffy had been walking side by side, but you've got a Banjo-Kazooie situation going on with Scruffy just hanging out in your main character's backpack.
That's so much funnier.
You remember Putt Putt Saves the Zoo? And how Putt Putt...
No.
You never played Putt Putt Saves the Zoo?
No.
Aw. Well, now my joke goes nowhere.
What is this game?
You've never heard of Putt Putt Saves the Zoo?
No, but the name is so funny, and hearing you say it so fast only makes it funnier.
But you were this car called Putt Putt, and you traveled to the zoo, and it was a point-and-click game by Jumpstart. Fuck you, I'm not the weird one here.
You're not the weird one.
Go fondle some problems.
Oh god, this is so funny. It's just very funny to hear you describe it.
Yeah, and Putt Putt had a little dog, and the dog hung out in the glove compartment, which was your bottom UI.
I don't know why this is so funny to me, but it's so fucking funny.
And
I think it's because I'm looking at Google images of it, and you're fucking nailing it right now.
Yeah, like I didn't even get to the cheese squiggles.
Wait, what?
The cheese squiggles were an item you could pick up to feed to one of the animals to keep going.
Oh god, what color was Putt Putt?
Purple.
I don't know why this is so fucking funny to me. Oh god, I don't know how I've never heard of this game. Actually, I do know. I just never heard of it. It seems like it's very niche. I don't know how the word. Now I gotta Google Putt Putt Saves the Zoo cheese squiggles. Are you sure they were cheese squiggles? Because that doesn't return it. Oh, they were cheese squiggles.
Yep.
They were purple.
Don't you fucking question my Putt Putt Saves the Zoo knowledge.
Okay, when did this come? What is this?
I would guess 97.
I didn't have a computer back then. You can actually buy this shit on Steam.
Yeah, it exists. A good friend of
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a fucking great game.
1995. This reminds me of like the Scholastic, like point and click games.
Oh yeah, it was Jumpstart
like
and kind of like up there with Pajama Sam And what were some other ones? There was a bunch. Pajama Sam, Spy Fox. Oh wow, there was Putt Putt Travels Through Time. Freddy Fish. You never played Freddy Fish?
Oh God, no! I played Word Munchers.
What the hell?
Remember that?
No.
I'm not the weird one here. Maybe I am. I don't know. Look up Word Munchers. Word Munchers was a computer lab game.
Oh, I kind of remember this.
And then we had Math Munchers too, which was just as bad. Or maybe
And-
it was Number Munchers.
For the younger audience, we used to have teachers that would rather let us play video games than teach.
We used to have TVs that were not flat.
Yeah, we used to have this thing called chalkboards. You fucking smartboards, get out of here.
Oh God.
And we played a game where you got dysentery, and it was the funnest fucking thing we ever played.
And there was an episode where he literally jumped a shark.
And for the record, it was the best one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. At the risk of keeping people from this story, let's continue.
All right, let me see. He was very
I'm
friendly.
actually crying. I actually have tears in my eyes.
He was very friendly and made friends with Scruffy quickly. Once at the top of the hill, I noticed that the air had become thinner and I could not breathe as well. I knew that I would not be able to breathe big gulps, so I had to improvise. Being the great spy detective I am, I pulled out my oxygen tank for such purposes as this. Man, this guy really is the Swiss Army knife of people.
And I address that right now.
Oh my God, you're probably I don't know if I should feel good or bad that I'm like calling the shots of this character.
I knew you were gonna ask, so I wrote it all those years ago.
Yeah, our friendship was predicated on this. You probably
Putt travels through time.
Oh my God. Let's see. Being the great spy detective I am, I pulled out my oxygen tank for purposes such as this. You're probably wondering where I am storing my cool gadgets. I have a very big pocket the size of Alaska on my cool spy detective pants. You cannot tell that it's there, but you can feel it. It lightens the weight to feather light, so I'm able to carry lots of weight. But I pulled out my oxygen tank and began to breathe. I knew that once I got to the hotel, I would need a plan, so I quickly pulled out my spy detective Land Cruiser vehicle, LCV, in parentheses. I drove straight toward the hotel and across the moat around it. Upon reaching the hotel, I put up my LCV and grabbed my extra tall ladder. I scaled it up to the top floor and got in without breaking the glass with my trusty glass cutter. You introduced so many tools in so little time.
Hey, you gotta ramp up quick.
Yeah, especially when you only have like 3 pages left. I scaled it up to the top floor and got in without breaking the glass with... Well, wait, I read that wrong. I got into the room and found a man, about 30, standing next to a desk. He leaned over and picked up a cookie from where I don't know and started munching. Hello, Dr. Health Onion.
Okay. Please, call me H.O. So I want to point out something here. I printed it, ho,
Yeah?
and then put an asterisk by it, and then specified that it was H period O period because my mom was going to read this.
Oh. I was trying so hard to figure out what that was going to turn out to be. And I did not expect that in all of them. Honestly, because your O looks like a D. And so I thought it was HD. And I thought I was trying to connect the P to PhD. And like it was some like meta humor.
Jesus Christ, you were going, no, you had way too much credit for me.
I don't know what I thought that was.
Oh, God. Okay. Please, call me H.O.
All right, ho. Why do you insist on further complicating the matters of the square root of a piece of pie?
Because I have tried to figure out this problem for the last 20 years. It's only become more complicating. It has only become... I'm just gonna leave it. It has only become more complicating. It's like potty training. Once you learn to use the toilet, you have to learn to... God. Once you learn to use the toilet, you have to learn to stop the tinkle in the bed.
Oh no!
I don't think that's from a movie. I made that up. I must have thought that was funny.
I do kind of find it funny. It's like, to learn something, you must unlearn something.
I was wise beyond my years.
Oh man. I think this is me. Okay. Well, what if we put our heads together? My information with your information? I even have a piece of blackberry pie, Scruffy, to work on.
Hey!
Scruffy said. I even have a negotiator from inside me. What?
Okay, so I guess that I made Jesus. what a weird way to call it back. Remember when I said I found the funny and made peace with my inner negotiator?
Mm-hmm.
There's a callback. Have it. Do whatever you want with it, I guess.
I even have a negotiator from inside me. Freaky, I know. That is very smart. He can help me. He can help. I get $20 billion if I solve this, and I could split that with you. What do you say?
I'll sleep on it.
Chapter 5.
What a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I like how our main protagonist is slipping to the dark side.
Yeah, apparently he's just like trying to fucking...
Look, I talked to Pies. If I can get $10 million out of this, I'll be fine. No one's gonna believe this.
$10 billion.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Think of what Nick Cage, who can talk to pies, will do with $10 billion.
These idiots don't know that you can just use a TI calculator to find out the square root of a pie.
A, B, C, D.
I'm a vampire, I'm a vampire, I'm a vampire.
I like to imagine that you're reading as Nicolas Cage.
I wasn't, but now I'm gonna.
Okay. Chapter 5. The next day.
Oh shit, this means I get the last chapter.
Get to end big. The next day, after a bath, we all sat down and thought about it. H.O. agreed to solve it. We worked patiently day and night to get it solved. And just for context, we're solving the square root of a piece of pie.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, if you asked me to solve a square root of a piece of pie, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, any normal person would. It turned out that Bob had been wrong. H.O. was intelligent, and he had all the equipment to solve it. He agreed to split the money, but he only wanted 40%. And with that money, he would buy jelly beans.
Man knows what he wants.
I guess for the next 3 years, we worked tediously.
3 years?
3 whole years. One day, while sitting on the couch working on a way to solve this, H.O. screamed, "I got it!" Wait, hang on. H.O. screamed. How did H.O. talk? "I got it! The square root of a piece of pie is not complicated. I have solved the hardest equation in the world. The square root is popcorn. It's completely easy. It all comes together now." I thought he was a few French fries short of a Happy Meal, but when
Oh
I
my
looked at
god!
What?
Okay. So your mom is a very lovely person. And I know her obviously through you, but you mentioned earlier that she works at the dentist's office.
Yeah.
My family's lawn service cuts that office, and I have heard her use that phrase, "a few French fries short of a Happy Meal." And I remember when we first started cutting that yard, and I heard her use that, I was like, "Oh, that's a great saying. I love that saying." So
well, here it is coming back up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. I don't know where I got that from. So apparently from her.
Yeah, it was. That's totally
maybe
your
I
mom.
Started it.
Mm-hmm, maybe. Did your mom read? Well, yeah, obviously, because you had to put that little footnote.
Yeah, she read it. No, the likelihood that I got it from her is much higher. I thought he was a few French fries short of a Happy Meal, but when I look at the work he did on Scruffy, it all added up. The square root was popcorn. I could not believe it. We alerted the press, and we became local heroes of Hawaii. Everyone knew our names. One day, while at an autograph session, the CCN.
Did you just not know CNN?
Oh, no, I guess I did. Okay, the CCN came and did a big interview about us and told us we would be on the Larry Bling show. So I guess that I was just trying to not say CNN and Larry Bling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, this alternate universe where pies can talk.
Well, that, and I had to worry about copyright.
Oh,
so.
of course.
Okay. We were making more and more money as each month passed. Okay, where would they be getting money from? Like what is solving this equation?
Well,
Why
I mean,
does
you
it
got
automatically mean money comes
book
in?
deals, merchandise deals, movie rights, the podcast.
How clinical your response is. All right. We were making more and more money as each month passed. We all moved back to where George lived, and we all moved back to where George lived, and by that time he had been looking for us. He had been looking for a friendship. We all moved into town and built an enormous mansion for all of us to live in. It paid off taking the case of the square root of a piece of pie. I quit my job as a detective and became a detective spy agent. What? I quit my job as a detective and became a detective spy agency out of the business wing in our house. I quit my job as a detective and became a detective/spy agency out of the business wing in our house. Sorry, I don't know why that took me so long to read.
I mean, it's very ambitious.
I quit my job as a detective and became a detective.
A whole agency. Well, I think it's like
entire agency.
Like you mastered from being Qui-Gon Jinn to being Yoda, essentially. That's what that is.
All right, fair enough. And actually, I'm pretty sure that one of the plot lines in that movie, Bringing Down the House, is when he quits his law firm and opens his own firm. So that's probably what I was reading.
Okay.
Okay.
Cut out the middleman.
H.O. built a room just for him, filled with jelly beans of all flavors. I promised I would not burn them.
Oh, so there's still that tension.
You got to keep things spicy.
Oh, yeah.
The two pie slices became best friends and built 2 rooms and connected them and made a special filling station to change their fillings. Life was truly nice. I built a giant room supplied around the clock with snacky cakes. and right next to that room, I built a full gym with a bathroom. And in parentheses, in case of cramps.
This guy has dedicated his life to cramps.
And the avoidance. I quickly ate and sculpted my way to a better-looking body. My instinct to call George Shirley has died down. My cramps have gone, and now I can handle sugary foods. Little Nebish has decided to sponsor me in my ways of going on the snacky cake diet. It was going great. All because of the smart mind of H.O., all because of the smart mind of H.O., courteous ways of Scruffy, and intellect of my negotiator, and we were... What? All because of the smart mind of H.O., courteous ways of Scruffy, and intellect of my negotiator, and we solved the world's hardest equation. Whatever. Oh, that's the last sentence of the chapter 5. Surprise.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Chapter 6.
Oh, man.
Well, this is my concluding chapter. I guess we must say our goodbyes. We all learned many valuable lessons in my story. 1. Always go for the goal and never quit. 2. Never eat too many snacky cakes as to where you get cramps. Okay. And 3. Friends will always help you through. So it turned out the square root of a piece of pie was popcorn. Who knew? But you always know that the impossible can happen, but only if you put your mind to it. Sometimes with a little help.
What am I doing?
You know, in The Office, where Michael Scott's like, sometimes... Oh, no, he's like... Oh, God, I don't know the beginning part, but where it's like, I start a sentence and sometimes I don't know where it's going to end. That whole leading spiel is this.
That's this entire book.
Yeah. I know that my story is a little wacky, and that I had done weird things, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I know it seems weird and sick, and maybe a little demented, but alas! Exclamation mark. It gave you a few laughs along the way. Well, I know my pants are cool, and I have an LCV and many more gadgets, but we all need to get along. I mean, go outside and do a community service.
I'm cringing so hard right now.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm trying to read that as straight as possible and I lost it. I mean,
That's fair.
Go outside and do community service. Change the world. Help the elderly. Make a difference. But please, kids, don't feed the animals. They're on a strict diet. And the marzipans won't land on your house if you're good for Santa.
So I guess I was into Homestar Runner.
Homestar.
Oh, man.
The system is down. The system is down.
Marzipans! Marzipan.
I know you want to talk to me in person, but I'm seriously running out of things to say. My Gatorade is a running thing. What? My Gatorade is running thing?
I think I was supposed to say running thin.
Oh.
I'm actually pretty sure that I was drinking a Gatorade when I wrote this.
I am losing energy. Well, this has been my story of the case well known as the square root of a piece of pie. It truly was a great case to take, too. I guess that truly means you can't have your slice of cake and eat it, too. I don't know where I was going with that joke. I think that was as bad as this fucking book.
I heard what you said.
I just scrolled down to the drawing.
Okay, I'm trying to figure. I'm zooming in because okay, so my sister drew this for me, and I'm trying. So clearly, there's a piece of pie bottom right, like that's the top of a piece of pie.
Yeah.
But there's a waste paper basket, and I'm trying to figure out what she put in the waste paper basket. It says like
Eden?
EON? Eat? Maybe that's like a Twinkie?
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't tell what that is. But then I credit her with the illustration. And then you can see the date and the time in which I printed this.
June 2004 at 2:51
PM. Well, no. That was the time that she faxed me back this drawing of the of our titular, not titular,
Our protagonist.
our protagonist.
She,
Yeah, so that was bad.
She wrote "Love You, Bub," so she was clearly supportive.
Yep. I wish she wouldn't have done that because it ended up being the last page of my book. So.
Oh, what an asshole!
I know. I should have used whiteout and been like, "I love you too," but are you kidding me right now? I actually do remember being like, damn it! Now I have to like just put that on the back and it's gonna say "Love you, bub." And what do I do with that? Like that's not gonna make sense to my mini readers.
Millions of people are gonna be confuzzled.
Okay, so I remember being insanely proud of this. Like I remember thinking like this is so well written as a kid. And then I also remember reading it while I was like I think I got this again when I was like 24 or 25.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it then and I was like this is funny. Like this is cringy and funny. And now at 27 I don't ever want to read this again. Like I want to put it back in the attic and never recall it again.
Well, it's a good thing that we have immortalized it in the ever existing.
I posted this on Reddit. This sucks.
What?
God.
So what was the response on Reddit?
It got like a fair amount of upvotes. Like it wasn't like front page material, but it got like 170 upvotes.
Were there any comments?
Yeah. Let's go to Reddit and figure out what they said because I'm sure it's worth something.
Oh my god. You know, you've never played this game, but there's a game called Undertale.
You've never played this game, but there's this game called Putt Putt Saves the Zoo.
You've never played this game, but there is a game called Undertale, and your main character, depicted by your sister, looks like something straight out of Undertale.
Really?
Yeah, it really.
That would be fun. Like that would be fun to find some sort of like sync up. Maybe I like invented something without knowing it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm getting the.
That was hard, man. That was really difficult for me to do. Like I can't imagine what it was like for you to do apples and oranges now. Well,
it helps.
Actually, apples and oranges was definitely better.
Okay, it wasn't that great. I'm sending you a link to this particular image.
So, okay, on Discord or?
Yeah, it's on Discord.
Oh. It's like Bart Simpson mixed with a really bad, like dinosaur. What is this from?
It's from Undertale.
I need to check this out. What is it like a new game, an old game?
It came out around the time that I started streaming. It's a fun game, and it's on the Switch.
Oh, okay, so it's pretty recent.
It's a subversive game.
So I'm reading. Okay, so the very top comment on. So it had 172 upvotes, and the top comment says, "This beats a story I wrote about an iron fence when I was 7." So take that. And then the second comment says, "This is beyond awesome, I am sure, and don't call me Shirley." To which I replied, "I may have watched Airplane a lot as a kid." And then another person said, "Did you read a lot of Daniel Pinkwater as a child? If not, you really should."
Oh my
And
god.
now, I don't know that I ever did my due diligence with that comment.
I'm
so
Googling it.
Yeah, let's figure out who Daniel Pinkwater is. He made Putt Putt Saves the Zoo. That's not true, but goddamn.
Oh my god.
Oh man, Daniel Pinkwater. He wrote nothing that I recognize.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of this either.
Yeah, none of this. I read a lot as a child, and none of this looks. None of this looks like recallable.
In some of his artwork, he looks like fucking Gru from Despicable Me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The picture of Morty and Ray. That seems familiar.
Well, if copyright wasn't a thing, I think that'd be fun to reuse.
Someone else said, "Oh, it was me." I said I gave context. I said I had to cliff noted HO because I didn't want people to say ho. And that's about it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was something else.
God, I know that I wrote some stories very similar to this, and I was kind of burying the lead here because it was around the time Jurassic Park 3 came out. Which when would that have been? Jurassic Park 3. That came out in 2001, so I would have been 10 or 11. And I remember specifically after that, seeing that movie, I wrote my own story, but it was very much like how Apples and Oranges, Red versus Blue. That story I wrote was Jurassic Park 3. I just wouldn't acknowledge it. And I remember I'm gonna riff names because I don't remember verbatim, but it was like the main characters went to a store and they bought some supplies from Barry, and then later on they went to the airport and got tickets and bought some tickets from Larry. And I remember writing in parentheses, Barry and Larry were brothers. Just so you know. It was very much in line with what you wrote here. I don't have it.
Oh man. Yeah, so my aunt sent or like found this, and like the book we just read, and like gave it back to me, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't seen this since I was legitimately 13.
I mean, I have the book I texted you, The Great Ride in Dino Land. It's super short.
Wait, I don't recall that.
Yeah, it was a book. It was actually for a class project, so I have it like hardbound and illustrated by me, and it's super short.
Oh my god!
I'm like, but I wouldn't be able to like, I would only be able to read it to you. I don't think I could. I don't have a scan of it.
Yeah, I just did like what we did. I just did it with an app. There's this thing called the iPhone. I drove to this place called the App Store.
Yeah.
No, but for real, I did do it with an app. So if that were what you wanted to do, you could do that.
I don't think it'd be a full podcast episode. Oh, that's the only bad thing.
Hey, I would still take it. Like I would be very happy to hear
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't even know where to go from here. I'm just like, that was a lot.
Well, I mean, it was an hour and 25 minutes, which is longer than some of the Apples and Oranges episodes we read.
I don't know if that's good. Like I don't think that's a good thing. I don't even want to know. Like I honestly, like, this podcast, if it were a YouTube video, I would turn off the comments. Like I don't even want to hear about it. I just want to let it die.
Oh man.
It's like I'm gonna go out on a limb because I've had a fair amount of whiskey. It's like telling all of your friends how great your grandfather is, and then finding out your grandfather is extremely racist.
Oh no.
Like that's how this feels to me. Like it's like dude, it's gonna be awesome. Like he makes the best breakfast and he's so much fun to be around. And then like we all get around him and he says like something very inflammatory, and you're just like,
Ooh.
I've had the wrong impression. Yeah, you're like, oh man, I have had my grandpa pegged wrong the entire time.
It's gonna be a maze. I don't know if that was from Community, where they find out that the groundskeeper was racist because he had like a Nazi tattoo, and he tries to defend it by saying it's gonna be a maze.
That took some explaining, but that's super funny.
And Troy's just like, oh my god, he was racist. Hey, well, we were all young and dumb.
I put myself out there. Now
now it's the fucking audience's turn.
Yes, I was just about. That's where I was going. I really want. I want to keep doing this.
I do too. I don't think we got the kind of reception I think that would warrant its own spin-off.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I think it should just stick within the TapStream podcast.
Yeah, just as a fun thing. Like, even if we don't do this weekly, but like, say, I don't know, a couple months from now, somebody.
I will say, like, I'm fully prepared when that day comes.
Oh yeah, like if somebody sends something in, like at askthetap@gmail.com, we're down to read it.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, yes, of course, I'm prepared to read whatever anybody sends, but I am prepared to spin this show off. If
yeah. I got it. Yeah.
And we still, it's not going to be as total. It's not going to be as total as I don't know why I said that so weird, as apples and oranges, but we do still have our zombie novel that we wrote,
which I still have.
It wasn't a novel, and I'm hoping you have because I think I have yours, but I don't have mine. Oh man, how could you let me do this?
I can't believe you've done this.
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk to you, but I'm not even going to bring it up anymore. I'm just going to say apples and oranges was better than this, and that's why this was unfair.
Oh man,
I was 12.
I was 17. So
and yours came out better.
Well, I mean, relative. It all scales up, like we said.
Man, that was a lot. That was a lot to do. So what do you want to do, man? You want to wrap this up with a pretty bow and talk about apples and oranges for a second?
Okay. I mean, yeah. You got any questions or anything you wanted to bring up about apples and oranges in general?
I just wanted to bring up that, let's see, it's been what, like 3 weeks since we read?
Dude, you know when we started?
No.
It was early February.
No way.
Yeah.
That's super weird.
I'm scrolling back in our Discord message because we really don't talk that much on Discord.
No, we really don't use Discord at all.
February 16th is when we read the first episode.
That's wild.
Yep. No, that was book 3. How far?
Whoa. Hang on. Okay, keep digging back.
It was February 9th.
That's really weird.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about it.
That's how long ago it took us to read Apples and Oranges.
And yet we got through this so fast. Oh man.
So what were you gonna say? Did you have any particular questions about Apples and Oranges or anything?
No, I was gonna say how long has it been since we read last? Since we concluded the series that is Apples and Oranges.
It's been about 2 weeks, I think. This is when we recorded last. Because we read book 4 and finale at the same time, and it's been 2 weeks since those have released.
Man, that was an absolute bummer.
It really.
It's left a hole for sure.
What's funny to me is that you can feel the change in our mood when Noodle dies, and like
I agree with with that.
the podcast, and not in a negative way, but it kind of nosedives, like in just overall mood. And I'm gonna pat ourselves on the back. I thought we did a pretty damn good job conveying that scene.
The death scene?
Yeah.
I will say that we did not pull any punches. Like we definitely, like, for better or for worse, went for sad, went for happy, went for gasps. Like we did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I had a large time reading that, and it's an absolute bummer that it's gone.
And what's funny to me is that, also, fuck you, by the way, you just sent me a picture that is a reference to For Sale, and I know you want to read For Sale.
Wait, whoa, is it? Hang on. Whoa, is it?
Yeah. No, don't play coy. You know what that is.
No, I don't.
What did you send me?
I just found it and I realized it was from you because I was looking for this zombie novel.
Yeah, this is a reference to For Sale. It's from the first episode.
Okay, leave it at that, and I'm gonna have to go figure out what you're talking about because I definitely don't remember that. But while we're here, we can talk about For Sale if you want.
I'm still very nervous about For Sale, man. And I can sum it up the best way with this. In Community, Community is set at a community college where they are all just misguided oafs that are lovable, and they're constantly just missing the mark. And the school is run by a dean who's constantly trying to legitimize the school because he feels guilty for it being a community college. Not to discredit community colleges, that's what the story is about for him. And so the dean gets really excited about having a celebrity endorse the school and have a statue, and that person was Luis Guzman. And there was a whole episode where Luis Guzman goes and visits the school. But before that, this is real life, Dan Harmon had actually reached out to Mark Hamill and said, here's this role. I would be honored if you would love to come star in this episode and have the statue made of you, and that would be that. And Mark Hamill wrote a really kind message back that said, listen, I find the joke hilarious. I think it's really kind of you that you reached out to me. I don't know if I'm at that point in my career where I am ready to take that kind of punch. And that's where I kind of feeling with For Sale, is that I get what the joke of apples and oranges is, but For Sale is so close to me that I don't know if I'm ready to be vulnerable about it. And that's what I'm worried about.
That's a really good that alludes to a really good story.
Uh-huh.
Like you've made a good tie-in.
I live through TV.
I got too caught up on how cool of a story that was, though, and I lost the point of what you're trying to make.
No,
but I'm following you now, and I get it.
Yeah.
But I just had to say, you're not supposed to say interesting things when you're trying to make an illusion, because now I was like, oh shit, that's an interesting story, and I ended up Googling Luis Guzman.
Right.
No, I understand. I get it.
I don't know.
I'm not happy about it, but
I think if you pressed hard enough, I could probably read episode 1 tonight.
If I pressed hard enough?
Yeah. Just to see what people's reactions are like.
I would be very happy if that happened.
Are we cliffhanging?
I mean, it's up to you. I've been pushing for this since a long time.
Goddamn.
I've got my copy very ready. I need to stop looking through my I must be dwindling. I looked so I don't know. For one, I don't know how that picture I sent you is a callback to For Sale.
It's in the first episode. You want to read it and find out?
Yeah. I'm going to have to flip back through episode 1 and find out.
Tune in next week, everybody.
You asking me if I want to read it on air?
We're going to do it next episode.
Fuck yes, I want to read it on air.
All right. Next episode, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you
yes!
next week. All right, everybody, that does it for the square root of a piece of pie. We hope that you enjoyed this particular episode, and I hope that you are looking forward to next week when we read at least one episode of For Sale. I don't know how it's gonna go, and I'm kind of a little nervous, but I think we'll be fine. But of course, if you did enjoy this episode, don't forget to like it, subscribe, share it, do whatever it is you need to do to help make people's days better and help us get this podcast out there. If you enjoyed Dear Christopher, you can find him at Dear Christopher on every social media platform, as well as mixer.com/Dear Christopher. If you enjoyed me, you can find me at TheTapStream on every social media platform possible. I am posting videos, bite-sized videos for you to enjoy what I do normally on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at mixer.com/TheTapStream. This coming week is going to be Dark Souls 2 continuation, since we have been playing it for the last couple of weeks. More Mario Maker on Thursday, and potentially Yoshi's Crafted World. I have that game coming in via Gamefly, but it has not arrived yet, but I suspect it will by Thursday. So I would expect some kind of split time between Mario Maker and Yoshi's Crafted World on Thursday. I do want to go ahead and say that I am shifting gears, and am reaching the busiest part of my day job, and that means streams might be having to reconsider the schedule. I don't know why the streams are going to reconsider it. I'm the one who has to reconsider it. I might have to reconsider the schedule just because I expect that I'm going to be getting off later from work. If this starts to cut into our usual time on a regular basis, I'm going to change some things. I'm going to try and hold what we have by starting at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Central Daylight Time. But if that does not work out, expect a change pretty soon. But yeah, other than that, I like to end the podcast on what's been the highlight of my week, and I would have to say that the highlight of my week would be I am part of a team on Mixer called the Variety Pack, and it is an incredible team. And just this week, we have opened up applications for people to apply to see if they would like to be a part of the team and see if they are fitting the criteria which is set forth. The response that we have seen from opening applications and tweeting about it has been phenomenal, and that made me really happy this week. It's going to be a lot of work moving forward, but it is a happy feeling nonetheless. But what about you? What's been the highlight of your week? I need to know. Let me know at TheTapStream on any social media platform of your choice using the hashtag TheTapStreamHighlight, or even if you just take a moment to acknowledge what your highlight has been. It's always good to just reflect on the week. But yeah. That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful week.